Halloween Horror Nights finally makes its big house announcement. Are you sure? Okay, correction. Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas finally made a house announcement that we already knew, and some of the details about this has me a little bit worried. Let's get to that announcement. Now, while many of the details about Horror Unleashed have, well, been unleashed, we know not too much about the 4 houses that we will experience. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Universal Monsters, The Exorcist Believer, and today's video about Scarecrow, The Reaping. So much in the same vein that Horror Nights made their big hype video announcement about Horror Unleashed, I would dare say this was all probably filmed in the same day. Actually, we learned a little bit of brief details on one of their houses that is going to be at the year-round haunt in Las Vegas, and that is Scarecrow, The Reaping. Inspired by the historic Dust Bowl era where several dust storms devastated the Midwest. This original story will take guests back in time to a dry, barren 1930s farmland ravaged by farmers and taken over by horrifying inhabitants arising from the land. Bloodthirsty scarecrows bent on revenge as guests start their journey in the middle of a windstorm. Before entering an abandoned farmhouse, they'll encounter the monstrous and gigantic creatures made of remnants of dried human flesh and bones of beasts, merged with burlap, root and vine, with only one mission at hand: obtain vengeance for their ravaged land. And that is Scarecrow, The Reaping. That is sort of the synopsis for it. They dropped a little bit of video in there. I don't think anything that they showed in that promo video is from the house itself. Now, also, we saw not too long ago, they trademarked, I think, this name Jack's Alley Bar, which if you read the press release, it is in bold letters. So this is a trademark thing that they trademarked. Next door at Jack's Alley Bar, guests will enjoy themed specialty cocktails, acrobatic performances, in a circus-like hellscape where a deranged Jack the Clown and his sidekick Chance reign as terrifying close encounters during interactive show moments. Now that part, I think it's kind of interesting. They said moments and not elements. So I'm wondering, are they gonna like go up to your table and interact with you or do some kind of juggling act, or Jack's gonna walk around the room? It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm really loving kind of that atmosphere of Horror Unleashed, kind of being more intimate, more up close, more personal. So here on this channel, we try to be very subjective. We try to be very clear. Well, yeah. See, he's just gonna yap on about the negativity and about how Vegas has him worried that it's not great. Yeah. See, Universal actually dropped some more details in an interview that they did, which has me super excited for what's to come at Vegas. And also some of what we experience with Scarecrow. So we'll cut to more details about that and let him just... Oh, shit. Now, I didn't find myself too excited for Scarecrow, The Reaping coming back. I've already done it twice at this point. The press release didn't have too much details, and the video itself was very just basic. Now, that was until I actually read this article, and that is where things kind of took a turn. See, Universal is actually using Horror Unleashed in Vegas to actually do 2 things that they could never do at their regular haunt event, just because the sheer size of the crowds and the speed that they have to get people through these houses. So typically when you go into a normal haunted house, which I would expect everyone that's watching this video has done it, and if you haven't, Typically, you walk into a room, there's a scare actor or an effect or something, you get scared, you move on to the next room. You never really get to stay into that room and see a scene play out, or you get to see something happen. But this is where things take a turn in Vegas. So in this interview, they spoke with Nate Stevenson, who gave them some insights into these unique moments in Vegas, starting with something called memorable moments. Stevenson says, we also have something called memorable moments in this house. This is where we actually, for a small amount of time in the house, we capture guests and we actually have a story come to life in that moment. So for instance, in this house, it really needs a little bit of a spoiler alert, but they're actually going to get to experience the dust storm rolling in, and they're going to get to be a part of that. So we definitely pulse this up. All the best parts are still there, but then we've added to make it more immersive and more exciting. Who knows what kind of elements? I don't know if that means like on your way to the farmhouse, you're walking through the cornfield, maybe off in the distance, you're seeing some sort of dust bowl rolling effect. Maybe it's a gigantic screen, but there's also something else they're talking about. And that one, it's called holding rooms. We have something that are called holding rooms. This gives us a great chance to actually tell the story of the house. So for instance, in Scarecrow, when the wind starts to pick up while they're waiting and a voiceover comes in that starts to really set up the scene and set this environment that we've created. So you go in with a lot more information, and I think it makes the story more rich and makes the experience more rich. This is what I think is really cool, because typically, like I said, with the normal haunted house, you're waiting in the queue line, and then you're right at the facade and then you go straight in. There's no waiting around, there's no experiencing that front scene or having it tell a story. The closest I can think of is when we did Last of Us in Hollywood and you had the two characters kind of doing dialogue in sort of the facade. That's the closest, but this one seems like it's more intimate and it's more like you and your party are just sitting there and kind of being told the story of the house you're about to experience. Really awesome stuff between that and the memorable moments. I think that is truly what sets up Vegas to be next level. And I can't wait to hear if they're going to tell us any memorable moments in the other houses, whether it's, in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I can imagine a really cool scene where you're sort of stopped in a room and maybe Leatherface is doing a kill or he's cutting off the face or something. I could just foresee all these little moments like that in the other houses, and I'm definitely excited to go. Like, it needs to be August right now.